One of the intangible reasons of why successful people actually get so many good results is because they're constantly working on their mindset. In this video, I'm going to break down the 4 mindsets that high performers have. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new, my name is Bennett Schwartz and I'm a high performance coach. I help people live a both richer personal and professional life. So if you're looking to live a wealthier life, make sure to hit the subscribe button. As I embarked on my high performance journey, I understood that there's so much to do with mindset. And Tony Robbins talks about how most of the things that need to get done in life, there's 20% of things that we can actually learn and practice. And the other 80% is actually going to be mindset. The question is which mindset should we actually adopt? And in this video, I'm going to share with you 4 mindsets that you need to start shifting in order to see that success. And each mindset is actually going to have a different aspect of the success all around. I'm going to break that down for you as well. The first mindset we need to have is the why not me mindset. So many times we see the people who are quote unquote successful and we look at them on a pedestal. We look at them as a different type of being that is on a different level than we are. And the truth is, in terms of their status, they might be, but when they just started, they were just as normal as you and I. So recognizing that we all have the ability to do something great. Success isn't one of these things that you reach a certain level and all of a sudden you're there. It's a constant growth, and recognizing that you have the ability to become successful is going to be something tremendous. We have to stay focused in terms of what our definition of success actually is, and recognize as long as we know what that is, then we too can become successful. But we're also realizing that we also have the ability. We can't get overburdened in terms of all the work that needs to get done, and looking at that person and recognizing, hey, you know what? That person has something that I don't have. We all have the ability to constantly be working on ourselves to see that success. So if we could start adopting this mindset of why not me, it's going to be able to help us realize that, you know what? Just because that person might be ahead of the game because they took advantage a couple of years ago, doesn't mean that I'm not able to. And I learned this idea from my grandmother. You see, growing up, she took care of her 4 kids, recognizing that she's gonna have to do whatever it is possible. And she worked 3 jobs, but her dream was to be a doctor. And not until she was 50 years old did she actually go to medical school. And when she graduated, it was the biggest celebration in the family because she sacrificed so much more for other people. And then finally, she was able to see the job dream that she really wanted. And as a grandson, what I take out of that is that it's never too late and we all have the ability. And there's no reason why we can't be doing certain things. So if there is something that you want to be achieving, something that you want to be jumping into, understand that you have the ability, and why not me is going to be able to carry you a lot further along the way. The second idea is understanding that we need to be disciplined. And what I mean by that is we need to recognize that in order to become successful, it's going to take small steps every single day. And the more we can take those steps, the more the compounding is going to be able to be affected in terms of seeing the success that we want. The reason why people on the news come out in terms of like an overnight success is because it's not the norm. Don't rely on the fact that something's going to happen overnight, that all of a sudden you're going to quote unquote win the jackpot. I love this article that I one time heard about in terms of 15 years to become an overnight success. And if you look at anybody who's successful, they took them lots of time, lots of failures, and lots of things that they had to go through and learn in order to actually become successful. Recognizing that it's not going to happen overnight and you need to become patient in terms of actually seeing true success is going to be something that is going to be extremely important to adopt. Of course, we can make strategic moves to make that thing move a little quicker, but understanding that if we're not going to be able to just be in the moment and do the small things, it's not going to be able to happen. They say success is actually really boring because once you learn the process, you're just repeating the same thing over and over again. And that's where most people actually get burnt out, because they see success, but they don't want to do the same thing over and over again. So they're always looking for the new shiny objects that's going to help them move forward. Recognizing that it's going to take time and it's going to be taking effort in terms of what it is that we're looking to do is actually going to be helpful in terms of actually seeing the success all the way through. That means certain goals might take 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And if you look at real successful people, they're actually thinking about their goals in 10 to 20 year spans. So instead of thinking that you're going to be an overnight success, recognize that it's going to take the small disciplines to get there. We should educate ourselves, we should look to set our goals, and we should look to pivot when necessary, but recognize that whatever you're looking to do, we ourselves are going to be able to have to take the actions and the small disciplines in order to make sure we get there. The third idea is the abundant mindset. So there really is 2 different mindsets over here that most people have. It's either an abundant mindset or a scarcity mindset. So the scarcity mindset is this idea that there's not enough and we need to take whatever it is that we need to be taking. On the other hand, there's the abundant mindset that there is so much out there and there's so much opportunity. And you see people who fall into both categories. And the question is which one do you want to be falling into? Are you the type of person who's saving every single coupon so when you go to the supermarket, you can really save every single penny? Or are you going to say, you know what, there's enough out there that I can actually take more? And not to say that one's right or one's wrong, but understanding that people who are successful have this abundant mindset that there's so much opportunity. Think about it. If you have a scarcity mindset, there's a cap in terms of what it is that is possible. If you have an abundant mindset, there is so much that's open and so much that is possible that can then actually fall into place. An example of this is in the marketing agency. You see, it's $1 billion industry. And if you're looking to just break into it, you might think to yourself, you know what? There's so many people. It's so competitive in terms of what are the things I can actually do. On the other hand, you could think about, hey, there is billions of dollars of people spending in terms of agencies. So why can't I just try to get a 0.00001% of that in terms of really changing my life and changing everything I'm looking to get? It's the same situation, but it's the mindset that's going to actually change us. So are you looking to have a scarcity mindset and understand that, you know what, there's only so much and I have to really take and grab and be scarce in terms of all my resources? Or we can live the abundant mindset where there is really so much possibility and we're actually going to try to tap into that possibility. Two different mindsets, but two totally different ways of actually living our life. The fourth mindset that we need to start thinking about is the infinite versus the finite mindset. And Simon Sinek made this idea famous. And the basic idea is that certain people are playing the finite game of life and some people are playing the infinite game of life. In a finite game, there is a distinct beginning and end. So there is a winner and a loser. In the infinite game, it's just playing to play. For example, how do you know when you succeeded at being a happy person? So you might have certain moments in time, but it's a constant work at it. So understanding that being happy or doing certain things is actually an infinite game is going to allow you to understand, you know what, there's no end to this. And that's why certain companies actually succeed more than other companies, because they know that they're just trying to be the better them. And if they could just constantly be working on themselves and focusing on themselves, they can actually see the true success over the long time. So recognize what game you're actually playing. Are you playing the finite game and you're constantly competing against other people and needing to be number one, but understanding that, you know what, number two might come up and win sometimes? Or are you going to be playing the finite game of not focusing on any other people and just focusing on ourselves? If we could focus on ourselves and understand over the long run, we're going to be able to win because we're going to be able to be the best us possible. You're going to see that success. So how do we break this down in terms of what we're actually doing in terms of our life and our circle of achievement? So number one is the why not me is really focused on you. If you could understand that you are the person who can actually see the success and you can have that success, you're going to be able to see how far you can actually go. This second idea is the disciplines, and that's the actual action we're looking to take. So we have to understand that if we take those actions, we can actually see that success. So we now know that I can do it, and now we know what we need to be doing. The third idea of the abundant mindset is knowing that there is enough for everybody, and there's so much out there and so much possibility for us. So now we know that we can do it, we know what we need to do, and to know that there is possibility of us actually attaining all of that. And then the final idea of the infinite game is understanding that we're going to need to play in it for a long run. So understanding it's not going to happen overnight, but realizing that, you know what, if as long as I get better and I can do the disciplines every single day, and there's so much possibility out there, I can do these things every single day and I can start to succeed. Success is something that not everyone's going to hit, unfortunately. But the question is, who's going to be disciplined enough? Who's going to be able to stay on the path long enough and recognize, you know what, as long as I do it, I'm going to be able to achieve the success that I want. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, but I can guarantee you it's going to be worth it. Let me know which one of the four you related to in the comments below, and make sure to like and subscribe. See you guys on the next one.